Hello, everyone. Welcome to the English Learning Podcast, where we help you take your English skills to the next level. I'm your host, Jason, and today we're diving into a topic that's perfect for the new year: how to start English learning in 2025. Whether you're a complete beginner or someone who's been putting off learning English, this episode is packed with tips to help you get started on the right foot.
Hi, everyone. I'm Julia, your co-host, and I'm so excited to talk about this. Starting a journey to learn English can feel overwhelming, but it's also one of the most rewarding things you can do for yourself. And guess what? 2025 is an amazing time to start because there are so many new resources and opportunities out there. So if you're ready to take that first step, you're in the right place.
That's right, Julia. In this episode, we'll cover why 2025 is the perfect time to begin, the first steps you can take, and some of the most effective tools and techniques available today. And as always, we'll keep it conversational and simple, so you can follow along and feel inspired.
And don't forget, if you have any questions or tips of your own, share them in the comments. We'd love to hear from you and support you on your English learning journey. So, Jason, are you ready to get started?
Absolutely! Let's jump in and explore why there's no better time than now to start learning English. All right, Julia, let's talk about why 2025 is such a fantastic time to start learning English. Over the past few years, we've seen some amazing advancements in technology, education, and global connectivity that make learning English more accessible than ever. What are your thoughts on this?
You're absolutely right, Jason. The world is becoming more interconnected, and English continues to be the global language for communication. Whether it's for work, travel, or even online networking, knowing English opens doors to countless opportunities. And in 2025, there are so many tools, like AI-powered learning apps, that make the process more effective and even fun.
Exactly! One of the biggest advantages of starting in 2025 is how personalized learning has become. You don't have to follow a one-size-fits-all approach anymore. Apps, podcasts, and online courses can now adapt to your level and learning style. Plus, with platforms like ours, you can find real-world conversational practice, which is essential for building confidence.
And let's not forget about the flexibility these resources offer. In 2025, you can learn English anytime, anywhere, whether you're commuting, relaxing at home, or even taking a walk. There are podcasts like this one, YouTube channels, and even AI chatbots that help you practice your speaking skills. It's like having a personal English tutor in your pocket.
That's such a good point, Julia. And another reason to start now is that English isn't just about learning a language. It's about building connections. In 2025, with virtual workspaces and online communities growing, being able to communicate in English is more important than ever for staying competitive in the job market and expanding your social network.
Absolutely. Plus, the cultural aspect is huge. English gives you access to movies, books, music, and global trends that can help you connect with people from different backgrounds. It's a skill that enhances both your personal and professional life.
So, to sum it up, 2025 is a golden opportunity to start learning English. With cutting-edge technology, flexible resources, and a global demand for English speakers, there's really no better time to begin. The tools are there, the opportunities are endless, and all you have to do is take that first step.
Exactly, and don't worry, we're here to guide you every step of the way. Learning English in 2025 can be easier and more enjoyable than ever. So, if you've been thinking about it, this is your sign to start now.
Now that we've talked about why 2025 is such a great time to start learning English, let's dive into the first steps. Julia, starting something new can be intimidating, right? What would you say is the very first thing someone should do if they want to begin learning English?
Great question, Jason. The first step is to set a clear goal. Ask yourself, why do I want to learn English? Is it for work, travel, making friends, or just personal growth? Knowing your why helps you stay motivated and focused. What do you think, Jason?
I agree 100%. Having a goal gives you direction. For example, if your goal is to improve conversational skills for travel, you might focus on listening and speaking first. On the other hand, if it's for work, you might prioritize professional vocabulary and writing skills. Once you have a goal, the next step is to find the right resources.
Exactly. And when it comes to resources, start simple. You don't need a pile of books or expensive courses right away. You can use free apps like Duolingo, listen to podcasts like this one, or watch beginner-friendly YouTube channels. Pick one or two tools that match your goal and stick with them.
Great advice. I'd also add that consistency is key. Even if you only study for 10 or 15 minutes a day, it's better than cramming for hours once a week. Create a routine that fits into your daily life. For example, you can listen to an English podcast during your commute or practice vocabulary before bed.
And don't forget to start small and celebrate your progress. It's okay to begin with basic phrases like hello, thank you, or how are you? As you get comfortable, you'll naturally build on what you know. Learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint.
That's so true. Another important step is to overcome the fear of making mistakes. Remember, mistakes are part of learning. The more you try, the more you improve. Find ways to practice without pressure, like talking to yourself in English or using AI chat tools that help you practice conversation.
Yes. And if you can, surround yourself with English. Watch shows, listen to music, or even change your phone settings to English. Immersing yourself in the language, even a little, can make a huge difference.
So, to recap, start by setting a clear goal, choosing simple resources, creating a consistent routine, and embracing mistakes as part of the journey. These steps might seem small, but they're the foundation for long-term success in learning English.
Exactly. And remember, everyone starts somewhere. What matters is that you've made the decision to start, and that's already a big step forward. Keep going. You've got this.
Now that we've covered the first steps to begin learning English, let's talk about one of the best things about learning in 2025. The modern tools and techniques available to make the process easier and more fun. Julia, have you noticed how much learning has changed over the years?
Absolutely, Jason. It's amazing how technology has revolutionized language learning. Today, learners don't just rely on textbooks or classroom lessons. Instead, they have access to apps, online platforms, podcasts, and even AI-powered tools that provide a personalized learning experience. What's your favorite modern learning tool, Jason?
Oh, that's a tough one. But I'd say language learning apps like Duolingo or Babbel are great starting points. They make learning interactive and gamified, so it feels less like studying and more like playing a game. Plus, they cover everything from vocabulary to pronunciation. What about you, Julia?
I'd say podcasts and YouTube channels are my favorite. They're perfect for improving listening skills and picking up real-world phrases. Podcasts, in particular, are great because you can listen to them on the go, whether you're cooking, exercising, or commuting. And many of them, like ours, are designed specifically for learners.
Podcasts are fantastic. And speaking of real-world practice, how about AI chatbots and language exchange platforms? In 2025, you can have a full conversation with AI tools like ChatGPT to practice speaking or writing. Plus, platforms like HelloTalk or Tandem connect you with native speakers who can help you improve in a friendly, casual setting.
Yes. And let's not forget the power of video content. Apps like TikTok and Instagram are full of short, engaging videos created by English teachers and learners. These videos often focus on specific tips, like how to use certain phrases or pronounce tricky words, and they're super easy to fit into your daily routine.
That's such a good point. Another modern technique is using flashcard apps like Anki or Quizlet. These tools use spaced repetition to help you remember words and phrases effectively. It's like having a memory coach that ensures you don't forget what you've learned.
And if you're into gaming, there are even language learning games and VR experiences where you can immerse yourself in an English-speaking environment. Imagine practicing English while exploring a virtual world or solving puzzles. It's such a fun way to learn.
Exactly, Julia. And here's something learners often overlook. Subtitles. Watching movies or shows with English subtitles, or switching the audio to English, can do wonders for your listening skills. Start with something familiar and gradually move to shows with more complex dialogue.
That's a great tip. And don't forget about online courses. Platforms like Coursera, Udemy, and edX offer structured English courses for learners of all levels. Some of them even provide certificates, which can be useful for your career.
Absolutely. The key is to mix and match these tools to suit your learning style. Whether you prefer visual, auditory, or hands-on learning, there's a tool or technique out there for you in 2025. The options are endless.
So, listeners, take advantage of these modern resources. With apps, podcasts, videos, and AI at your fingertips, learning English has never been more accessible or exciting. Find what works for you and make it part of your daily routine.
And remember, it's not about using every tool at once. Start small, explore different options, and stick with the ones that keep you motivated. You've got all the tools you need to succeed in 2025. Julia, while 2025 brings some fantastic tools and opportunities for learning English, we know that challenges still exist. Let's talk about some common struggles learners might face and how they can overcome them. What's a challenge you hear about often?
One big challenge is staying consistent, Jason. A lot of learners start with great enthusiasm, but over time, they lose motivation. Life gets busy, and it's easy to skip practice. What advice would you give to someone struggling with consistency?
That's a good point. My advice would be to set small, achievable goals and build English into your daily routine. For example, listen to an English podcast like ours during breakfast, or spend 10 minutes on a language app before bed. Consistency doesn't mean hours of study. It's about showing up regularly, even if it's for a short time.
Exactly. Another common challenge is fear of making mistakes. A lot of learners feel nervous about speaking because they don't want to say something wrong. But here's the thing. Mistakes are a natural part of learning. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become.
That's so true, Julia. In fact, I'd say embracing mistakes is key to progress. Instead of worrying about being perfect, focus on communicating your ideas. Even if your grammar isn't perfect, people will usually understand you, and you'll improve with practice.
Another challenge I hear about is not having enough time. Many people feel they're too busy to learn a new language. But the good news is, with modern tools, you can make use of small pockets of time. For example, you can practice vocabulary while waiting in line or listen to English while driving.
That's a great tip. And let's talk about the challenge of finding practice partners. A lot of learners say they don't have anyone to practice speaking with. But in 2025, there are so many solutions for that. Language exchange apps, online communities, and even AI chatbots can help fill that gap.
Exactly. Another challenge is dealing with frustration when progress feels slow. Learning a language takes time, and sometimes it feels like you're not improving. My advice? Celebrate small wins, like understanding a new word or completing a short conversation. Progress happens in steps, not leaps.
Absolutely, Julia. And I'd also say that changing how you measure progress can help. Instead of focusing only on fluency, pay attention to small improvements, like recognizing more words in a TV show or feeling more comfortable speaking. Those are signs that you're moving forward.
One final challenge I'd like to mention is staying focused in a world full of distractions. With social media and busy schedules, it's easy to lose track of your learning. Setting aside dedicated time for English, even if it's just 15 minutes a day, can make a big difference.
That's a great point. So, to recap, staying consistent, overcoming the fear of mistakes, managing time, finding practice opportunities, celebrating progress, and staying focused are all challenges learners face. But with the right mindset and tools, every one of these challenges can be overcome.
Exactly. Remember, challenges are part of any learning journey. The key is to keep going, even when it feels tough. You're not alone in this. We're here to guide and support you every step of the way.
Well said, Julia. So, listeners, don't let challenges hold you back. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. You've got this. Julia, as we've discussed, consistency is crucial when learning English. But staying consistent is easier said than done, right? Let's share some practical tips with our listeners on how they can practice English daily without feeling overwhelmed.
Absolutely, Jason. One of my favorite tips is to set a specific time each day for English practice. Treat it like an appointment, maybe 15 minutes in the morning or evening. Having a routine makes it easier to stick with the habit.
That's a great idea, Julia. I'd also add starting small. For example, commit to learning 5 new words a day or practicing one simple conversation. Small goals are manageable and can easily become part of your day-to-day life.
Exactly. Another tip is to integrate English into activities you already do. For instance, if you like watching TV, try watching your favorite shows in English with subtitles. If you enjoy music, listen to English songs and look up the lyrics to learn new phrases.
That's a great point. And don't forget about speaking practice. Even if you don't have a partner, you can practice speaking out loud to yourself. For example, describe your day, talk about your plans, or even read a short passage aloud.
Yes, speaking out loud helps you get comfortable with the sounds of the language, and if you want feedback, try recording yourself. It might feel a bit strange at first, but it's a great way to identify areas for improvement.
Another effective tip is to use technology to your advantage. Set your phone or computer to English, use flashcard apps like Anki or Quizlet, and make use of language learning apps. These tools are designed to make daily practice easy and fun.
Right. And if you're short on time, microlearning is a great strategy. For example, spend a few minutes on vocabulary during your coffee break or listen to a podcast while commuting. Even 5 to 10 minutes of focused practice can make a difference.
That's so true. And here's a motivational tip. Keep a journal of your progress. Write down what you practiced each day or what new words you learned. It's encouraging to look back and see how far you've come.
Exactly, Jason. One last tip. Make it fun. Learning English doesn't have to feel like a chore. Play games, join online communities, or find a study buddy. The more enjoyable the process, the more likely you are to stick with it.
That's a great way to end, Julia. Listeners, practicing English daily doesn't have to take a lot of time. With a little creativity and commitment, you can make English a natural part of your day. Start small, stay consistent, and most importantly, have fun with it.
Well said, Jason. Remember, learning a language is a journey and every step counts. Keep practicing and you'll see progress over time.
Wow, Julia, this has been such a great conversation. We've covered everything from why 2025 is the perfect year to start learning English to overcoming challenges and practicing daily. But before we wrap up, let's leave our listeners with some encouragement.
Absolutely, Jason. To all our listeners, learning English is more than just studying a language. It's opening the door to new opportunities, cultures, and connections. Remember, every expert was once a beginner. The key is to start and to keep moving forward, no matter how small the steps.
That's such an important message, Julia. Learning English isn't a race, it's a journey. It's okay to make mistakes, feel frustrated, or take a break. What matters is that you pick yourself up and keep going. Your dedication today will pay off in ways you can't even imagine.
And you're not alone on this journey. There's a whole world of learners just like you, and tools, communities, and resources to support you. Believe in yourself, trust the process, and know that you're capable of achieving your goals.
Couldn't have said it better, Julia. So, listeners, let 2025 be the year you take charge of your English learning journey. Start today, stay consistent, and remember, we're here cheering for you every step of the way.
Exactly. Thank you for spending your time with us today. Keep practicing, stay inspired, and don't forget to check out more episodes of the English Learning Podcast for tips, techniques, and encouragement.
See you next time, everyone. Until then, keep learning and keep shining.